Hello, Senior Stoner fans. It's the real Senior Stoner back at you for your DabX Dab of the Day with Diamonds. It's a DabX Day here at Senior Stoners. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining me. Today is Friday. If you enjoyed today's video, you know what to do. Send a subscription, hit that like button, and I respond to all the comments. Let's get started with today's topic. You're going to love it. Common sense versus intelligence. Let's get started. Common sense and intelligence are two terms that can often be confusing, although there is a clear difference between the two words. Common sense is good sense in practical matters. On the other hand, intelligence is the ability to gain and apply knowledge and skills. As you can see, common sense and intelligence are not identical. The key difference between the two is that while common sense gives more prominence to practical knowledge, intelligence focuses on intellectual capabilities of an individual. We're going to examine these two concepts. First of all, what is common sense? Common sense is a good sense in practical matters. It is believed that to function in society as a normal human being, common sense is of vital significance. Common sense does not entail specialized knowledge. None. It merely consists of good sense that helps us to function in society. For example, imagine that you have to make a decision in a limited time frame. Although you may not have any special knowledge, the common sense helps us to arrive at a sound judgment. Common sense is not something extraordinary. It is a basic skill we all have to understand and judge based on the information that is available to us. So, what has to happen is that you have to basically understand that although the term common sense refers to everyday knowledge that we have, the term really has philosophical and educational roots. It's believed, in fact, that Aristotle, Plato, all those people had common sense in line with human perception. Later on, it was used to refer to the ability of the human being to comprehend other humans as well as the surrounding environment. Interesting about common sense. But now, what is intelligence? It's the ability to gain and apply knowledge and skills. Intelligence consists of a tremendous amount of processes like comprehension, problem solving, awareness, memory, knowledge, etc. The concept of intelligence has been studied for eons and in many ways. However, intelligence does not necessarily guarantee the person has common sense as well. This is where the difference between the two concepts really becomes clear. There can be people who have very high intelligence, but no common sense. This is why there's even a saying suggesting that common sense isn't so common. So really now, what is the difference between common sense and intelligence? Well, common sense gives more prominence to practical knowledge. Intelligence focuses on the intellectual capabilities of an individual. Common sense does not include specialized knowledge. Intelligence does include specialized knowledge. So there's a lot of differences that we find between common sense and intellectual. But you see, there are different sides of the discussion. Which is better? Intelligence like book smart or common sense / street smart? Education and learning how to live our lives is a meaningful and good way to gain experience and be more important in life. Interestingly, though, everyone has their own take on what education should be. Some people swear by their local school. Other people's only want to go to a private school. And then as you get into higher education, it becomes even more complicated. What has to happen is you have to understand what is street smart / common sense. It's an alternative form of quote unquote streetwise. It's the knowledge and experience required to handle the dangers and potential difficulties of life. What is book smart? Book smart's defined as having knowledge directly obtained from study and books. Bookish, scholarly people. The word is often used to imply someone lacks understanding of the world or common sense. But you see, being street smart means you have situational awareness. One of the major differences between these two, and ultimately why street smarts are in many ways more helpful than book smarts, is that being street smart gives you situational awareness. It makes that you're enabled to observe and evaluate a situation or an environment you're in. It also gives you a better idea of the people you're in it with and all the possibilities around you. You see, common sense, Mrs. Stoner says it so wonderfully. My God, they're so smart, but they have no common sense. That can happen. So being street smart and having common sense means that you learn how to trust your judgment. Most of the time, you're navigating the world and are out of schooling, which means you're trying to fend things off on your own. And if you want to survive for a decent amount of time in the world, you need to learn how to judge situations and people. So being street smart and having common sense can put you at the center of knowledge. Another huge distinction between book smarts and street smarts is who is in the middle of the knowledge. It's great to read a book and learn about particular subject, viewpoint, or opinion. You're studying what someone else has discovered. But when you're street smart / common sense, you're the center of that knowledge. The knowledge you've learned is based on your own experiences, not somebody else's. It can be really helpful to learn about dangers before you experience them, because you save yourself from anguish. It could be a financial danger, a food danger. So if you actually go through something and experience it and gain street smarts from it, it can often make you stronger and a better developed person. You see, intelligence, book smart, can come from just continuing to study, continuing to look at things, continuing to get more information in. But being street smart and having common sense comes from experience. That's right. Experience is the mother of wisdom, and experience without learning is more beneficial than learning with no experience. So if you're book smart, it's all very well to say you know what it is to work in a particular industry. You'll also probably know what it's like to live in a certain part of the world. But until you actually go out and experience either of those examples or anything in life, we really can't say we are smart about that particular scenario or subject, can we? Being street smart and having common sense can prepare you when disaster hits. It would be foolhardy to say that being book smart isn't a good thing. But there's a lot to say about the value of being street smart and having common sense. When you're street smart with common sense, you're able to discern when a situation's going south or when it's fine and safe. Again, the word experience is crucial here. You see, common sense also allows us to know where safety is. Book smart means you're very good at knowing stuff, retaining things and remembering things. Street smart and common sense gives you the tools to use those things. So they work together, actually. Isn't that exciting? So you've got to learn to trust your intelligence. Use your book smart and common sense to prepare you for difficult times. And street smarts gives us the tools and mental capacity to work out situations in a more natural way when faced with danger. Think about it. We don't all have to have IQs of 200. It's not about that. It's about pulling the fire alarm and saying, oh my God, or not pulling the fire alarm and just looking at the situation, taking it in. You got your information now, and then guess what you can do? You can use your book smarts on how to use that information. I believe you can use common sense and book smarts at the same time. What do you think of that? So not only will you have good judgment, but you might also even have a prediction about the future because you know how to add up the scenarios. I hope you enjoyed today's discussion about common sense versus Booksmart? If you did, you know what to do. Join the family, send a like, and I respond to all the comments. Here we go with our Dabex Diamond Dab of the Day. Get set for that big hit, Senior Stoner. Here we go. Home run. And thanks for joining me, everybody. Cheers.